Starscream stands atop the Nemesis, reveling in his new command. Suddenly, Jetfire swoops in with strange cargo strapped to his undercarriage. He transforms, and the stasis-cuffed twins fall into the ground between him and Starscream.
Jetfire?
Starscream, I brought you these Autobot prisoners.
Excellent work, but where have you been?
While I was flying, I encountered a group of Autobots in a transport craft. They ambushed me and shot me down. They sent these two to finish the job. Fortunately, my injuries were not severe, and I was able to use my considerable size to subdue them. Fragging Decepticon! Silence! He smacks Sideswipe upside the head. A little harder than he had intended, causing Swipe to bleed from his lips. Fortunately, this is enough to convince Starscream that his friend has gone full Decepticon.
Excellent, Jetfire. Truly excellent. The Autobots must be planning some treachery in order to not fulfill their end of a bargain. Well, 3 bargaining chips are much better than 1. Guards! Escort these Autobot scum to the brig.
While the twins are escorted away, Soundwave watches the exchange. He elects not to warn Starscream about Jetfire's betrayal, however, having a plan in place to depose the usurper. Sam, Carly, and a disguised Bumblebee creep over to the pyramid, avoiding the gaze of the Viacon patrols. B is wearing Jetfire's discarded Decepticon insignia in order to confuse the scanners. Even so, he avoids any prominent Decepticons in case he's recognized. Once they reach the pyramid, Bumblebee gives Jazz the signal. Suddenly, Stratosphere descends out of the desert clouds and rains down a barrage of missile fire on the Nemesis. The twins, recognizing the signal, break out of their inactive cuffs and dispatch their escort. Other Viacon troopers mobilize to subdue them. In the brig, Ironhide hears the blaster fire, as does his guard.
What's happening out there?
Ironhide uses the distraction as an opportunity and slams their heads against the bars.
My chance to get out of here.
The twins fight their way to the brig, only to find that Ironhide has already freed and rearmed himself. The weapons master mows down a small horde of Viacons, then aims his cannons in the twins' direction.
Kids, duck.
The twins obey, and Ironhide opens fire on the Viacons who are approaching from behind them.
If you could free yourself, why didn't you earlier? What, and take on the whole Decepticon shebang alone? Nah. Wanted to let you guys have some of the glory. Now, if you boys will excuse me, it's time I finish getting my revenge.
Actually, we have a better plan.
Huh?
There's a way to bring Optimus back, inside the pyramid.
Allegedly.
Ironhide doesn't hear Sunstreaker's pessimistic aside and grabs Sideswipe by the shoulders.
You're sure?
I'm either sure or I'm insane. Probably a mix of both.
Alright then, boys. What do we need to do?
Up on the landing strip, Starscream and Jetfire look up at the giant Autobot raining hellfire down on them. Thus begins the next step of Jetfire's part of the plan.
That's the Autobot that shot me down. Allow me to face him, Starscream. Ah! Destroy him!
Jetfire needs no further bidding and transforms. He fires his weapons in Stratosphere's direction, intentionally missing. As he nears the giant plane, the cargo bay opens. Jetfire sidles up to the opening, where Jazz and Ratchet await with Optimus' shell. Good day, chaps. I understand you have a package for me.
Good to have you on our side, Jetfire. Sorry about shooting you down earlier. A simple misunderstanding. Now let's revive a Prime.
He magnetizes Optimus to his undercarriage as he had with the twins. Once Prime is secure, he banks away.
Fire at me, big man.
Make it convincing, but not too convincing.
Whatever you say, laddie.
Blaster fire encircles the ex-Decepticon, who feigns entering a freefall directly towards the pyramid. Starscream witnesses Jetfire plummeting downward.
Jetfire! Seekers, mobilize! Blast that overgrown tub out of the sky!
He transforms, followed by Skywarp and Thundercracker and a squadron of flying Viacons. Jazz and the others see them approaching.
Time to abandon ship, Autobots. Stay alive, Stratosphere. Are you joking? I didn't come this far to get blown to bits by Starscream of all bots.
With that, the Autobots skydive out of the cargo bay, deploying giant parachutes and raining down on the Decepticons below. Stratosphere banks away from the approaching Seekers and enters a firefight with them. Just before hitting the ground, Jetfire transforms and lands on his feet, Optimus clutched in his arms. Sam, Carly, and Bumblebee run up to greet him. Let's do this. Lead the way, Sam. The foursome carry Optimus into the depths of the Fallen's pyramid. Up in his throne room, the Fallen witnesses the battlefield.
The Autobots did not come to surrender the Matrix, it seems. Yet I sense it among them. It must be inert for me to not know its precise location. No matter. My instruments will detect it before long. Perhaps there will still be Autobots alive to witness my victory when I do find it.
Ironhide and the twins blast through the halls of the Nemesis, taking down scores of Decepticons. At one point, they find themselves surrounded on all sides, except one. Ironhide looks at the wall, recognizes it as an outer wall, and gets a chaotic grin on his face. Without warning, he aims his weapons at the wall and blows a hole in the hull of the ship. He grabs onto the twins and leaps out of the hole with them in tow just as the ship begins to auto-repair. Several Viacons are thrown out by the sudden depressurization. The three of them land where the Energon is being mined.
Ha ha! Where's the next fight?
Right here, Autobot.
From behind stacks of Energon and rigging, the Constructicons emerge and surround the three Autobots.
I can take the 6 of you by myself, in stasis lock.
Oh, can you? We shall see about that.
Constructicons, transform and merge into Devastator!
The Constructicons transform into vehicle mode and then begin to arrange themselves. Long Haul and Rampage, Bonecrusher's replacement, hinge upward, forming what appears to be legs. From there, Scavenger and Mixmaster approach, merging together to form a large torso, which connects with the legs. Finally, Scrapper and Hook latch onto the shoulders, transforming into arms. Once all 6 Constructicons are connected, a head unfolds from the torso, and the Gestalt form Devastator rises to his full, gigantic height, much larger than Stratosphere.
Ha ha ha! Devastator will destroy Autobots!
Slag. Jazz, Ratchet, and Skids and RC had a frontal attack against the Decepticons on the ground and those descending from the Nemesis, including Barricade and Brawl, and spare Constructicons Skipjack, Hightower, and Scrap Metal. Stratosphere, though tanking much of the onslaught, soon finds himself overwhelmed by the Decepticon fleet.
Ah! Jazz, I didn't know how much more I can take.
Pull back, Stratosphere. Don't be a hero.
Ain't we all heroes, lad? If I'm to die, I'll die in Autobot.
Stratosphere, no!
For Cybertron! For the Autobots! For Optimus!
The gigantic Autobot unleashes all his ordnance on the Decepticons flying around him, taking out several of them. He then guns his engines in the direction of the Nemesis, taking out much more of the fleet in the process.
Until that day, lads, till all are one.
He slams headlong into the Decepticon warship, damaging it heavily and causing it to crash. Autobot and warship fall to the ground in a great fireball, as the other combatants on the field watch in awestruck horror. Till all are one, old friend. Till all are one. There had to be at least one Autobot casualty, guys. As Starscream looks at the wreckage and down at the battlefield, he notices something odd. Jetfire is nowhere to be seen. As he expands his scans, he notices his old friend's signal coming from somewhere he did not expect. Deep in the pyramid, Sam, Carly, Bumblebee, and Jetfire near the tomb door, which has not repaired itself since Megatron destroyed it. I would probably add a few scenes with them evading traps as well, but this rewrite is long enough as is. So just imagine some Last Crusade shenanigans in this last little bit. As they step through the door, Sam looks around at the forest of cybermatter surrounding the pool. The metal oasis. Sweet Primus. Carly gives an exclamation of her own. The 4 of them do not see a Decepticon Panther slink into the chamber behind them. Jetfire approaches the pool. So, do I just put him in? The vision didn't make it clear, but I can't see anything else to do. Well, here goes everything.
Jetfire.
Unlike Ravage, Starscream does not enter silently.
Why are you with these Autobots? And carrying Prime's corpse, no less.
I do not answer to you, Starscream. Not anymore. You lied to me. You and Megatron. It was not the Autobots who devastated Cybertron. It was you.
My dear Jetfire, you are confused. These Autobots have fed you lies.
You speak to me of lies, Decepticon? I have chosen my side. I am an Autobot now. Starscream's face changes from one of manipulative friendliness to one of unbridled rage.
Then you will share their fate!
He blasts Jetfire, sending him falling into the pool with Optimus. Too late, Starscream realizes his mistake, as the pool erupts into a blue light. Unlike when it revived the Fallen, the blue does not change color, but simply grows more intense. Up in his throne room, the Fallen sits upright, sensing the Matrix's reactivation. The light fades, and the pool goes still. Then a familiar red arm emerges and rests itself on the rim of the pool. Following the arm, a blue face-plated head emerges, then a red torso with windows serving as its chest. Heroic music swells as Optimus Prime is reborn. Bumblebee, Sam, Carly, what is going on? Before any of them can answer, a platform descends from the top of the pyramid, a platform containing the Fallen. It cannot be.
So, this is the so-called last of the Primes. I am unimpressed.
With surprising speed, he flies at Optimus, reaching into his spark chamber and tearing the Matrix free. Prime is still weak from his revival and is unable to fight back. Bumblebee attempts to stop the Fallen, but is batted aside for his troubles, plunging into the pool himself. The Fallen returns to his platform.
Finish him, Starscream, and see that he stays dead this time.
He ascends back to his throne room. Starscream aims his null raids at Optimus. Before he can fire, however, he is knocked backwards by a blast from behind Optimus. Prime turns to see Jetfire emerging from the pool, reformatted into a warrior's shell. I do not know you, but I feel a kinship towards you. My name is Jetfire, Optimus, sir. It was I who bore you to this pool. It would seem that, as we entered together, your revival imparted some of your strength to me. I could stand to have that strength. Then it is yours. Jetfire leaps from the pool and undergoes a new transformation, combining with Optimus Prime. Jetfire and Optimus merging is a classic trope in Transformers, one that I personally love as I was something of an Armada kid growing up. I did not like how the film basically had Prime wearing Jetfire's corpse as armor, though, so I came up with a reason for them to be able to power links. As Jet Optimus is formed, Prime feels his strength returned, combined with Jetfire's own. He looks up at the ceiling where the Fallen vanished, and fires up his flight engines. Let's roll! He bursts through the outside of the pyramid. Autobot and Decepticon look up to see the reborn Optimus Prime jetting towards the top of the massive structure. Prime's back! Ha ha! Bust some Deceptichops, Prime! It worked? See what you get for being a skeptic, bro. Back in the pyramid, Sam and Carly watch after Optimus. They then hear a voice from behind them. A voice that had not been used in 1,000 years. Sam. Sam turns to see Bumblebee emerging from the pool. Bumblebee repeats himself. Sam. B? Sam! My voice is back! Bumblebee is exultant for a moment, rejoicing in being able to speak again. Then the sounds of battle outside remind him of what is happening. We can celebrate later. For now, we have Decepticons to frag. He transforms and the humans enter. They drive out of the pyramid to rejoin the battle. Starscream emerges from rubble and glares after them.
You have signed your death warrant, Jetfire.
He too transforms and jets towards the exit. Once the chamber is empty, Ravage slinks out of the shadows and approaches the sarcophagus.
Soundwave, I have found Megatron.
Yes, Ravage speaks, just as he can in the comics. Because why not? The Fallen approaches the console and places the Matrix in the alcove.
At last, my revenge is at hand.
The systems begin to power up as he transforms the upper part of the pyramid into a great weapons platform. The spire transforms into a cannon, one that is aimed directly at the sun.
Let this world be bathed in darkness. Let the sun be no more.
As he presses the activation button, nothing happens.
What?
He presses it once more to no avail.
Work, slag you.
He glares at the console, noticing that the Matrix is not glowing.
You will respond to my commands. I am a Prime!
You lost the right to call yourself Prime long ago.
Optimus hovers over the Fallen and blasts him backwards into the cannon itself. He flies towards the console and frees the Matrix from its prison. As he grips the handles of the Matrix, it glows and opens, firing a beam of energy at the cannon, a beam that destroys it outright. His spark chamber opens, and the Matrix returns to its rightful place, restoring him to full strength. The Fallen emerges from the wreckage and lets out a roar of rage. He charges at Optimus and begins to grapple with him.
I will destroy you utterly. Ensure that there is nothing left to be revived. Then the Matrix will respond to my commands.
In his delusion, the Fallen believes that the Matrix only rejected him because Optimus yet lived. His logic dictates that if he kills the other Prime, he will be the sole master of the Matrix. Very Voldemort logic. What he does not realize is that the Matrix has rejected him because of what he has become.
The Matrix will never obey you. You forsook that right when you betrayed your brothers.
I will send you to meet my brothers.
Jetfire, unlink. I can handle him myself.
Optimus breaks free of the grapple and unbinds himself from Jetfire. As he lands, he unsheaths a blade from his left hand and draws something from his back with his right. A metal rod that unfolds into an Energon axe. The Fallen unsheathes his own blades, and the two Primes clash. As Jetfire watches on, he is strafed by blaster fire from an enraged Starscream.
No one betrays Starscream and lives, Jetfire! Not even you!
You forget, Starscream! I can transform too. Jetfire takes off in his jet mode and enters a dogfight with his former friend. In his new form, Jetfire is both stronger and faster than the Air Commander. Ironhide and the twins, on the other hand, are no match for Devastator, and are forced to hide from the Titan's attacks. Okay, how are we supposed to take on that thing? Ever hear the humans saying, the bigger they are, the harder they fall? Of course humans would say that. They're puny. The point is, maybe we don't have to fight him, just knock him off balance. Let gravity do the rest. The two of you transform and start driving in circles around his feet. Then I'll do my thing. This better work! The twins transform and begin to circle Devastator, making sure to avoid his stomps and other attacks. Once Ironhide is convinced that the Combiner is sufficiently distracted, he runs out and opens fire on one of Devastator's legs. Now, each of the Constructicons is at least as large as Optimus, so this is not sufficient to destroy Longhaul, nor to break the bond that holds Devastator together. Fortunately, that's not Ironhide's plan. His plan is simply to destabilize Devastator enough that he collapses, allowing for the three of them to reunite with the other Autobots. 8 Autobots versus 1 Devastator are much better odds. And Ironhide's plan works. Devastator is knocked off balance, allowing the trio to retreat and rejoin their fellows. However, Devastator does not stay down for long. The giant Decepticon rises to his feet and pursues after them with surprising speed, transforming one of his hands into a drill that he uses to churn up the sand. Overhead, Starscream and Jetfire are locked in mortal combat. I truly wish that it could have been different, Starscream. That I could have convinced you to join our side. But I see now that the bot I once called brother is dead. With that, he aims a shot at Starscream's thrusters, causing the Air Commander to plummet to the ground below. Jetfire then joins the other Autobots in their battle. Though the Autobots fight valiantly, they are sorely outnumbered and, with Devastator, outmatched. Optimus and the Fallen's battle grows in intensity. The pair of them slam into the ground, crashing through the pyramid down into the tomb. Optimus struggles to get up after the impact, injured by the high fall. The Fallen, however, is barely phased and rises to his feet.
You are slowing, Optimus Prime. You cannot hope to defeat me alone.
Perhaps, but he is not alone.
They turn to see that Megatron has been freed from the sarcophagus, with Soundwave standing off to the side.
And we have unfinished business, Fallen.
The Decepticon leader draws his weapons and begins to circle the ancient warrior. Optimus rises to his feet and picks up his own weapons. Prime and Emperor of Destruction lock eyes, and both know immediately what must be done. Together they strike out at the Fallen from two sides, catching him off guard. In a rare moment, Optimus Prime and Megatron put aside their differences to battle a common foe. The two demonstrate an unbelievable amount of symmetry in how they fight together, demonstrating how they must have been before the war began. Not to be left out, Soundwave joins in the battle, with Frenzy, Laserbeak, and Ravage all striking at the Fallen, while their master bombards him with sonic beams. Powerful though he is, the Fallen is swiftly overwhelmed by the combined strength of Kaon's champion, Soundwave the Superior and his small army of minions, and the last of the Primes. After an intense battle, he is forced to his knees.
No, you cannot defeat me.
He erupts into flame, forcing his opponents backwards.
You will not defeat me. It took 12 primes to imprison me last time. I will not fall to you.
The fire grows in intensity, threatening to consume the entire chamber. From within Optimus's chest, the Matrix pulses. In that moment, he comes to a realization. It took the combined might of 12 primes to best the Fallen anciently. Within the Matrix is housed the might and wisdom of all the primes, not 12 alone. Optimus steps forward into the flames, protected by the power of the Matrix.
No, it cannot be.
In that moment, to the Fallen's eyes alone, it appears as if Optimus is not the sole prime. All 12 of his fellows and all the primes since, save one, but we'll get to him in the next movie, appear out of the ether to stand beside their descendant. As fear flickers through the Fallen's eyes, the flames weaken, allowing Megatron and Soundwave to join Optimus.
No, you cannot destroy me.
No, I cannot. But I can seal you away again.
The Fallen roars once more and the battle continues. He is forced backwards, with the sarcophagus opening to receive him. He is unable to resist as he is forced back into his prison of 4,000 years. Together, Optimus and Megatron close the sarcophagus, once more sealing away the bane of Cybertron. As is often the issue with writing super powerful one-off characters, the Fallen's final defeat is not something I'm extremely proud of. I prefer it to Optimus absolutely butchering him in the original film, but I honestly would have preferred the Fallen to be the main villain of his own trilogy. If I were to write a Transformers 2 completely untethered from this movie, only serving as the bridge between the first film and the third, I would eschew the Fallen entirely and leave Megatron as the main antagonist. After Megatron's alleged final defeat in Dark of the Moon, I would then have the scattered Decepticons fall under the sway of the Fallen and have him be the villain for the next 3 movies. And if by some miracle I were given the budget to do this, I would then do a third trilogy in which Megatron were revived as Galvatron, with Unicron serving as the main antagonist. I would probably end that trilogy with Optimus's death and show the rise of Rodimus Prime, as I would introduce Hot Rod in the second trilogy. I would then have Unicron be defeated and leave the story somewhat open-ended, allowing room for a future Rodimus spin-off. But as I said at the beginning of this project, I want to stick as closely as possible to the original story of these films as I can, which is painfully difficult when the original story for Revenge of the Fallen is basically non-existent. So just know that this is not the send-off I personally would have given to such an awesome villain, but I have to remove him from the equation in order to allow for both Megatron and a certain other treacherous prime in Dark of the Moon. I am so ready for that rewrite, guys. That one won't take me anywhere near as long as this one did. It is 5 a.m. as I'm writing this segment. I'm just ready to move on from this Primus Forsaken movie. Placing my own misery aside, the Fallen is sealed away, leaving Optimus and Megatron staring at each other. Silence hangs in the air between the two of them. Both are exhausted from the battle and everything beforehand. The silence is broken by Optimus.
What happens now, Megatron?
Megatron remains silent for a moment, maintaining eye contact with his once brother. Then,
There will be no more war today, Optimus Prime. Allow me to gather my troops and leave this place, and I will allow you and your men the same courtesy. For now, we have a truce. But know this, once the day is spent and a new day arises, our conflict will continue. And the next time we do battle on such a scale, either one of us will die, or both of us will.
Optimus simply stares for a heartbeat before nodding.
I accept your terms, Megatron.
Soundwave, broadcast to all Decepticons. Tell them to fall back.
As you command, Megatron. All Decepticons, cease fire and withdraw by order of Megatron.
Autobots, this is Optimus Prime. Stand down and allow the Decepticons to leave. That is an order.
Both sides lower their weapons, confusion plastered across their faces. Yet still they obey. The Decepticons transform and depart into the desert, as their warship is no more.
I must attend to my troops. Come, Soundwave.
The Decepticon leader begins to walk away. Then he pauses.
Oh, Optimus. It's good to have you back.
Optimus watches as Megatron departs, complicated emotions swirling in his newly revived spark. Eventually all the Decepticons have departed, leaving the Autobots and their human friends standing alone on the Giza Plateau. Optimus approaches the console in the tomb and enters a few commands. The pyramid begins to tessellate and once more takes on its earthly appearance. He then seals the door to the Fallen's tomb with the Matrix, hoping that no one with Megatron's level of power ever comes here again. Once he has restored the pyramid to normal, he exits the great structure and is greeted by his Autobots. There is much celebration as the team is reunited, and as each learns that Bumblebee's voice has been restored. However, there is also mourning for the heroic demise of Stratosphere, who gave his spark to destroy the Nemesis, crippling the Decepticons immensely. They also welcome their newest member, Jetfire, who proved himself a great ally in the battle. With the aid of Nest, Stratosphere's body is discovered and laid to rest. The wreckage of the Nemesis and all of the fallen Decepticons are disposed of in the Laurentian Abyss, which is not the deepest part of the ocean, but it's a cool-sounding name anyway. And the Autobots and their human friends return to the U.S. on board an aircraft carrier, the USS Flag. If you know, you know. Optimus stands on the deck of the ship, and, as is tradition, delivers his closing monologue.
Throughout the millennia that this war has raged, we have lost much. Our home, our comrades, and yet we have gained a new home and new friends. And I have learned that in the darkest of hours, even our most bitter enemy can be a trusted ally. My name is Optimus Prime, and I send this message to any who wish to join us in this fight, be they Autobot, Decepticon, or otherwise. Know this: you are welcome. Let us be united and face the future together. And to any who stand against us, know this: though we Autobots may sue for peace, we will never abandon our desire for freedom.
The credits then roll as New Divide plays. Seriously, say what you will about these movies, but the soundtrack is excellent. In a mid-credit stinger, we see Starscream limping through the Sahara. At one point, he collapses exhausted. A familiar shape emerges from the desert and looms over him.
Well, well, how the mighty have fallen.
Lord, Megatron, I...
Spare me your simpering, Starscream. It will do you no good this time.
No, please, Master, spare me. I will never betray you again. Just don't destroy me.
Oh, don't worry, Starscream. I will spare you. But I will make you wish you were dead.
And with that, we finally bring our Revenge of the Fallen rewrite to an end. This project took a lot out of me, so I hope it was worth it. Stay tuned for the next part in my Bayformers Rewritten series, Transformers Dark of the Moon, coming soon. Until then, thank you all for joining me on my quest. If you enjoyed the video and like what I do here, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. If you'd like to support the channel further, consider joining the Knights Realm Patreon for $1 a month and get access to exclusive content, including videos not available on YouTube and supercuts of my rewrites. Or if you'd like to request a future video topic or vote on pre-chosen topics, you can join at $5 a month or leave a super thanks in the comments below. In any case, I will see you all on our next adventure, whenever that may be.